The proclamation. Noah Gray stood at the center of a vast chamber, his heart pounding against his ribcage like a drum echoing through an ancient temple. Around him, delegates from across the galaxy filled every seat, their eyes fixed on him with a mixture of skepticism and intrigue. This was no ordinary day. This was a pivotal moment in history. The day Earth would declare its intent to join the galactic community, not just as a participant, but as a protector. He adjusted his tie nervously, glancing at the ornate architecture surrounding him. Polished marble columns that had never before been touched by human hands, intricate murals depicting long-forgotten battles among alien races, all serving as a backdrop to his upcoming proclamation. People of the Galactic Federation, Noah began, his voice steady despite the weight of expectation pressing down on him. I stand before you today, not just as an ambassador from Earth, but as a representative of a world that has long been underestimated. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Some delegates exchanged incredulous glances, while others leaned forward, eager to hear more. For too long, we have been seen as a primitive backwater, he continued, allowing himself a moment to let those words sink in before pressing on with conviction. But today marks a new chapter for humanity, a chapter where we take our rightful place among you. As he spoke, Noah felt hundreds of alien eyes boring into his back, their skepticism palpable like an electric current in the air. He could sense their disbelief. How could this mere human dare to disrupt the delicate balance that had existed for centuries? Yet he knew something they did not. Earth had been preparing for this moment. We pledge our aid to the Bag-Air-Yil, he declared boldly, in their fight against the Orrery Dominion. Gasps echoed throughout the chamber at this audacious declaration. It was unthinkable that Earth would dare intervene in what many considered an inevitable slaughter. Noah could see it clearly. The incredulity etched on their faces was mirrored by disdainful whispers among some delegates who were already plotting how they might capitalize on humanity's folly once it inevitably ended in disaster. He took a deep breath, loosening his tie slightly as he prepared for what would come next. A calculated misdirection that would change everything. Hidden deep within uncharted regions between galaxies lay Earth's true armada, an advanced fleet crafted from cutting-edge technology that dwarfed anything seen in this council chamber or beyond. What they had revealed thus far were merely rusted freighters and outdated patrol craft designed to mislead those who might spy upon them. Noah tapped out a sequence of coded phrases on his wrist communicator, sending messages to his fleet waiting just beyond detection range, concealed in shadows where no prying eyes could see them. The delegates continued to chatter amongst themselves, oblivious to what was coming their way, a storm brewing just beyond their comprehension. He allowed himself a tight smile as he envisioned what would soon unfold. Soon enough, they would realize how wrong they had been about humanity's capabilities. Let me assure you, Noah continued with renewed fervor, our intentions are not rooted in aggression, but rather in solidarity. He paused again for effect, letting his words resonate through the chamber like an echo from ages past. While we may be newcomers to this galactic stage, he said slowly, we have invested heavily in developing technologies that can protect not just ourselves, but our allies as well. His gaze swept across the assembly. Some delegates appeared intrigued now. Others remained skeptical, but were beginning to reconsider their initial judgments. Today is not merely about war. It is about unity, Noah proclaimed passionately. And together we can forge alliances that will stand against tyranny. As he finished speaking, applause erupted sporadically throughout the chamber, a mix of genuine support and reluctant acceptance from those who had initially doubted him. Yet even amidst this momentary triumph, Noah felt an icy knot settle deep within him, a premonition that echoed through time itself. Revealing Earth's hidden strength would invite challenges that could threaten everything they held dear. A month passed since Noah's proclamation before the Galactic Council. Now came fateful day when all eyes turned toward Yil Prime, the last major colony of the Bag-Air-Yil, where an impending invasion loomed ominously overhead like dark clouds gathering before a storm. The Orrery invasion fleet approached with brutal elegance, angular warships adorned with spikes bristling with weaponry designed only for destruction. They were merciless machines driven by bloodlust and conquest. In stark contrast stood Yil's defense ships, gleaming silver crescents dancing gracefully among stars. But beauty alone would not save them from annihilation. They were hopelessly outmatched against orrery firepower. On board one such flagship known as Warlord Crooks, anticipation crackled through every deck. Crooks grinned evilly at his crew while hovering over firing controls, ready to unleash devastation upon unsuspecting foes below. But suddenly alarms blared throughout his ship. New contacts appeared on sensors, causing Crooks' heart to race with disbelief as he watched human vessels drop out of warp space, seamlessly taking defensive positions around Yil Prime like guardians emerging from mythos itself. The human ships were unlike anything seen before. Sleek black forms with gentle curves resembling sculptures more than warships, an aesthetic beauty that belied their lethal capabilities. Crooks snarled in rage when targeting sensors struggled futilely against these strange vessels whose readings flickered erratically across displays. Every attempt to lock onto them failed miserably. Open fire! Crooks barked desperately. Plasma bolts screamed through void space toward these intruders, determined to assert dominance once more. But what followed next defied all expectations. The human vessels flowed effortlessly around incoming fire, as if dancing through chaos itself. A mesmerizing display that left even seasoned warriors slack-jawed with disbelief at such grace under pressure. A stray shot glanced off some shimmering energy field, encasing one ship, dissipating harmlessly into nothingness while its mirrored hull remained unmarred, a testament to technology beyond comprehension. Then came retaliation. The human fleet glided into attack formation, unleashing brilliant lances of blinding white light, piercing through orrery hulls with surgical precision. Thick armor crumbled like tissue paper under relentless assault from these mysterious newcomers who now commanded respect across galaxies far removed from their humble origins back home on Earth. Within moments, what had once seemed invincible, the prideful orrery armada, was reduced to drifting wreckage amidst clouds of cooling plasma, left behind by humanity's unexpected prowess, displayed before all who dared witness it unfold live across various screens throughout Galactic Council chambers, filled with stunned delegates left grappling with shock and outrage over what they had just witnessed unfold before them. Noah Gray stood at center stage once again amidst chaos erupting around him, as recordings played repeatedly showcasing decisive victory over orrery forces, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply against frenzy surrounding him, while voices rose high above, din echoing through chamber walls filled with disbelief and anger alike. People of Galactic Federation. Noah began once more drawing attention back toward himself despite tumult raging around him, every eye fixed upon enigmatic human ambassador, whose presence commanded authority even amid turmoil threatening stability across entire galaxy. The invasion. The atmosphere aboard the EDF Athena was electric with anticipation. Admiral Noah Gray stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the tactical display, which illuminated the bridge with a ghostly blue light. The screen showed a vast expanse of space, dotted with the positions of the enemy fleet, an alliance of Xindi, Krill, and orrery ships, their silhouettes stark against the backdrop of stars. Each vessel bristled with weaponry, a menacing reminder of the power that now threatened Earth. "Admiral," the tactical officer reported, his voice steady but edged with urgency, "the alien fleet is holding position at the edge of the Sol system. They're charging their weapons." Noah's jaw tightened at the news. He had hoped that their previous show of strength would deter any further aggression from the galactic powers now eyeing Earth with envy and malice. But it seemed they were determined to test humanity's resolve. "Bring the fleet to combat alert," he ordered, his voice ringing through the hushed bridge. "All ships stand ready for engagement." As commands were relayed through the ship's intercom system, Noah felt a surge of adrenaline course through him. This was it, the moment he had prepared for since taking on this role as Earth's ambassador and military leader. The stakes were higher than ever. This wasn't just a battle for survival, but a fight to prove humanity's place in the galaxy. He turned to his crew, each face reflecting a mix of determination and anxiety. "We've trained for this," he said, his voice firm. "We've faced adversity before and emerged stronger. Today will be no different." The crew nodded in unison, their resolve solidifying under Noah's leadership. He could see it in their eyes. They were ready to defend their home. The alien fleet. Meanwhile, aboard the flagship of the Xindi fleet, Commander Tyrovexis surveyed the tactical readouts with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. His scaled features glimmered under the dim lights as he spoke to his fellow commanders gathered around him. "The humans have revealed their hand," he said smoothly, his voice low but commanding. "They are not as weak as we once believed. We must strike hard and fast before they can mobilize fully." The Orrery ambassador grunted in agreement, his reptilian eyes narrowing as he considered their options. "If we give them time to prepare, we risk losing our advantage. Their technology is unlike anything we've encountered before." The Krill representative clicked his mandibles in frustration. "Then let us not waste any more time. We must attack now while they are still reeling from their recent victory." Tyro nodded thoughtfully. "Very well. Prepare your ships for an all-out assault on Earth's defenses. We will show them that they are outmatched." With that, orders were issued throughout the Xindi fleet, and the atmosphere shifted from tense deliberation to focused action as crews scrambled to ready their vessels for war. The first engagement. Back on the Athena, Noah watched as tactical data streamed across his display. Enemy ships moving into formation, weapons charging ominously. The tension in the air grew thicker as seconds turned into minutes. Each heartbeat felt like an eternity. "Admiral," a voice broke through his concentration, his communications officer, eyes wide with urgency. "We're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet." Noah raised an eyebrow, but gestured for her to continue. "It's a warning," she said, her voice steady despite its implications. "They demand our surrender and threaten total annihilation if we do not comply." A murmur rippled through the bridge crew. Noah felt a surge of anger course through him at their audacity. "Transmit our response," he ordered sharply. "Tell them we will not back down, and that Earth stands ready to defend itself." As his words echoed through the ship's comm system, Noah felt a sense of clarity wash over him. This was not merely about survival. It was about asserting humanity's right to exist among these powerful races that had long looked down upon them. "Admiral," the tactical officer interrupted again, "the enemy is initiating their attack." Noah's heart raced as he turned back to the display just in time to see beams of energy erupt from the alien ships, brilliant streaks of light cutting through space toward them like harbingers of doom. "Brace for impact," he shouted as alarms blared throughout the ship. "The battle begins." The first wave struck with devastating force. Energy beams collided against Earth's defensive shields with explosive brilliance. The Athena shook violently under the assault, but its shields held strong, thanks to advancements that had been kept secret until now. "Return fire," Noah commanded, his voice cutting through chaos as he gripped his command chair tightly. The sleek black vessels of Earth's fleet responded with precision. Brilliant lances of light erupted from their weapon systems, targeting enemy ships with uncanny accuracy. Noah watched in awe as one by one, enemy vessels began to falter under their onslaught. "Enemy ship at 12 o'clock, shouted a crew member from navigation. "Target locked," another reported eagerly. "Fire," Noah ordered without hesitation. A volley of energy beams shot forth from their cannons. One struck true against an Orrery cruiser, causing it to erupt into a fireball that lit up space like a dying star. Cheers erupted on board as they witnessed their first victory, a testament to humanity's resolve and technological prowess. But there was no time for celebration. More enemy ships surged forward like a tide determined to crush them beneath its weight. "Admiral," shouted another officer urgently, "we're being flanked. Reinforcements are coming from behind." Noah cursed under his breath. They had anticipated an attack from multiple fronts, but hadn't expected it so soon or so coordinated. "Divert power to aft shields," he commanded quickly. "Prepare to engage those reinforcements." A turning point. As they maneuvered into position to face this new threat, Noah felt a surge of determination wash over him, a burning desire not just to protect Earth, but also to prove that humanity belonged among these ancient races who had underestimated them for far too long. The battle raged on around them. Explosions lit up space like fireworks, while ships danced amidst chaos. A deadly ballet where only skill and strategy would determine survival. Noah focused intently on tactics. Every decision mattered now more than ever before. He watched as enemy formations began to shift. An opening appeared within their ranks. "Now," he shouted decisively. "All ships concentrate fire on that gap." Earth's vessels surged forward like wolves unleashed upon unsuspecting prey. Beams of energy sliced through enemy hulls with surgical precision, while debris scattered across space in violent bursts. For every ship they lost in this brutal exchange, each life sacrificed for this cause, they gained momentum against overwhelming odds. And soon enough it became clear, victory was within reach. The aftermath. As silence fell over what remained of the battlefield, the once mighty alien fleet reduced to drifting wreckage, Noah took a moment to absorb what had just transpired. His heart raced with adrenaline as cheers erupted across every deck aboard Athena, a cacophony celebrating not just survival, but triumph over those who sought to extinguish them without mercy. But even amidst this jubilation lingered an unsettling realization. This battle was merely one skirmish in an ongoing war for recognition, a fight against centuries-old prejudices held by those who viewed humanity as nothing more than primitive interlopers among stars filled with grandeur beyond comprehension. As he gazed out into space, the remnants of battle swirling around him, Noah knew deep down that this victory would not go unnoticed nor unchallenged by those who still sought dominance over others. With steely resolve etched across his features, he turned back toward his crew, readying themselves for whatever lay ahead, knowing full well that Earth had taken its first steps into an uncertain future where alliances would be forged and enemies made, in equal measure. Aftermath of victory. The echoes of battle still reverberated through the corridors of the EDF Athena as Admiral Noah Gray took a moment to collect his thoughts. The victory over the Orari Dominion had been swift and decisive, but the aftermath was proving to be just as tumultuous. As he stood on the bridge, staring out into the vastness of space, he could feel the weight of expectation pressing down on him. The Galactic Federation was watching closely, and he knew that their perception of humanity had shifted dramatically. "Admiral," the tactical officer interrupted his thoughts, "we're receiving communications from the Galactic Council. They want to discuss our recent actions." Noah nodded, steeling himself for what was to come. He had anticipated this moment. It was inevitable that the Council would want to address Earth's newfound power and its implications for galactic politics. "Put them through," he ordered. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a chaotic scene in the Council chambers. Delegates from various races were shouting over one another, their expressions a mix of shock, outrage, and curiosity. The footage of Earth's fleet dismantling the Orari ships played on repeat in the background, a stark reminder of what had transpired. "Humanity has disrupted the balance of power," shouted an irate Zindi representative. "You've shown us that you possess technology far beyond what we believed possible." "Is this how you intend to conduct diplomacy?" interjected a Krill delegate, his compound eyes glinting with anger. "By flaunting your military might." Noah took a deep breath, preparing to address the gathering storm of accusations and concerns. "People of the Galactic Federation," he began, his voice steady and authoritative, "I understand your fears, but let me remind you that our actions were taken in defense of an ally facing annihilation." "An ally?" scoffed an Orari ambassador, still reeling from their defeat. "You've positioned yourselves as a threat to all of us." "No," Noah countered firmly. "We've positioned ourselves as protectors. Earth's intervention saved the Bagheer Yill from certain destruction. We did not seek conflict. We were drawn into it by necessity. As he spoke, Noah could see some delegates nodding slowly in agreement, while others remained entrenched in their disbelief and anger. The room was divided, a reflection of a galaxy that had suddenly been thrown into chaos by humanity's unexpected prowess. A new alliance. After hours of heated debate, a resolution was finally reached. Earth would be allowed to retain its fleet and technology under strict oversight by the Galactic Council. In exchange, Noah agreed to share some advancements with select allies. An olive branch extended toward those who might otherwise view humanity as a threat. As the meeting adjourned, Noah felt a sense of relief wash over him. It was a small victory in an ongoing struggle for acceptance and recognition among the stars. However, he knew that this fragile peace could shatter at any moment. Later that evening, Noah gathered with his senior staff in the Athena's war room to discuss their next steps. The atmosphere was tense. Everyone understood that while they had won this battle, they were far from securing their place in the galaxy. "We need to establish stronger ties with our allies," suggested Captain Ilara Voss, her brow furrowed in thought. "If we can create a coalition with those who support us, it will deter any further aggression from those who see us as a threat." Noah nodded in agreement. "I want diplomatic missions sent out immediately. Reach out to the Bagheer Yill and any other races willing to work with us against potential threats." "But what about those who oppose us?" asked Commander Jarek Lin, his voice laced with concern. "The Krill and Xindi are already plotting against us. We can't ignore that." "We won't," Noah replied firmly. "But we must also show them that we are not adversaries unless provoked. Our goal is peace through strength, not domination." As discussions continued late into the night, Noah couldn't shake an unsettling feeling deep within him, a premonition that darker forces were at play behind the scenes. Shadows gathering meanwhile on Zeri Station, a notorious hub for illicit dealings. A clandestine meeting was taking place among representatives from some of the galaxy's most ruthless factions. Xindi, Krill, and Orrery delegates huddled together in a dimly lit corner. "The humans have upset everything," growled an Orrery ambassador, slamming his fist on the table with enough force to send vibrations rippling through its surface. "My fleet lies in ruins because of them. They threaten our profits," chimed in a Krill representative whose compound eyes shimmered with malice. "If they continue to develop this technology unchecked, we will lose everything." A Xindi delegate leaned forward with predatory intent. "Then we must act swiftly. I propose an alliance. We pool our resources to acquire human secrets by any means necessary." The Orrery ambassador grinned wickedly at this suggestion while nodding enthusiastically. "Infiltration. Sabotage. I like it." "We'll need careful planning," cautioned the Krill delegate. "We cannot afford any mistakes. Earth is more formidable than we initially believed." With dark purpose solidifying their resolve, they began plotting how best to undermine Earth's technological advancements, how to steal secrets and ensure that humanity would never rise again. A breach of trust. Back aboard the Athena, Noah remained vigilant for signs of impending danger. Just days after their diplomatic meeting with the Galactic Council, alarms blared throughout Titan Shipyard, Earth's primary facility for shipbuilding and technological development. "Admiral," shouted an officer from operations as he rushed onto the bridge, breathless with urgency. "We have a breach. A squad of Krill operatives has infiltrated our data core." Noah's heart raced as he sprang into action. "Alert security teams. Lock down all access points to sensitive areas." As chaos erupted around him, Noah's mind raced through contingency plans. They had anticipated potential sabotage, but hoped it wouldn't come so soon. On board Titan Shipyard, Krill operatives moved swiftly through dimly lit service tunnels toward their target, the central data core housing invaluable schematics for Earth's advanced Scylla-class ships. They worked with practiced efficiency until they reached their destination, a reinforced door protecting priceless information about humanity's technological edge. But just as they began breaching security protocols, alarms blared throughout the facility. A silent alarm triggered by their unauthorized access. Panic set in among the infiltrators as they realized they had been detected. The thwarted infiltration. In an instant, heavily armed human marines materialized around them, stealth suits blending seamlessly into shadows until it was too late for escape. "Step away from the console," barked the lead marine as weapons trained on them glinted ominously under artificial lights. Desperation surged within the Krill squad leader. He knew their mission was compromised but refused to surrender without a fight. Plasma rifles emerged from beneath their disguises as they opened fire, superheated bolts scorching through air toward their assailants. But Earth's Marines responded instantly. Pulse rifles unleashed streams of hypersonic flechettes that tore through enemy ranks with lethal precision. Despite being outnumbered by Krill operatives who fought fiercely against overwhelming odds, the Marines moved fluidly across terrain using cover effectively while maintaining suppressive fire against their attackers. As chaos unfolded within Titan Shipyard's data core, a last desperate gambit emerged from one Krill operative who leveled his plasma rifle toward precious schematics stored within. Their only hope lay in destruction rather than capture. Yet when he fired, a sustained burst aimed directly at data core. It splashed harmlessly against its protective housing. Molten energy dissipated like water on glass. The Marine sergeant allowed himself a tight smile beneath his helmet. The core remained untouched thanks to reactive crystalline shielding, designed specifically for such contingencies. Realizing defeat was imminent, the remaining Krill operatives surrendered quickly under duress. News spread rapidly throughout Earth's military channels about thwarted infiltration attempts. Consequences unfolding. Within hours after securing Titan Shipyard, Noah Gray stood once more before Galactic Federation delegates, his expression grave as he addressed assembled representatives about recent events surrounding infiltration attempts. "People of the Federation," he began solemnly, his voice resonating with controlled anger. "It is my duty to inform you that trust has been betrayed in egregious ways." He proceeded methodically outlining details surrounding infiltration, attempt naming races responsible. Gasps echoed throughout chamber as evidence presented proved irrefutable. "We came here seeking cooperation," Noah continued passionately, his gaze sweeping across room filled with stunned faces. "And this is how we are repaid." Accusations flew amidst clamor rising within chamber walls, but words rang hollow against weighty revelations laid bare before them. In light of this grievous breach, Noah declared firmly, raising hand silencing uproar around him. "Earth has no choice but launch full investigation into incident alongside others like it." As chaos erupted anew, the ramifications surrounding failed infiltration began unfolding rapidly. Alliances strained while long-standing partnerships fractured under pressure. Yet amid turmoil, one question lingered heavy within air. What would Earth do next? With patience wearing thin, Noah knew swift action would be required if they hoped not only survive, but thrive amidst growing hostilities brewing just beyond sight. The conspiracy. The tension in the Galactic Council chambers had reached a boiling point. Noah Gray stood at the podium, his expression grave as he addressed the assembled delegates. The fallout from the failed Krill infiltration had sent shockwaves through the galaxy, fracturing alliances and igniting fears of war. As accusations flew and tempers flared, Noah knew that Earth was now at the center of a maelstrom, a storm brewing with dark intent. "People of the Galactic Federation," Noah began, his voice steady despite the chaos around him. "We have come together in this body to promote peace and cooperation among our races. Yet, in light of recent events, it is clear that not all members share this vision." The chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices, each delegate shouting over one another, their faces flushed with indignation or fear. Noah raised his hand for silence, and gradually the room quieted. "Earth has extended its hand in friendship," he continued, only to have it bitten by those who seek to undermine our efforts. The Krill infiltration was not an isolated incident. It is part of a larger conspiracy aimed at destabilizing our burgeoning alliance. A ripple of unease swept through the crowd as Noah's words sank in. He could see the Xindi delegate shifting uncomfortably in her seat, while the Orrery ambassador glared defiantly at him. "We must unite against this threat," Noah urged, his voice rising above the murmurs. "If we do not stand together, we risk losing everything we have fought for." As he spoke, Noah's mind raced with thoughts of what lay ahead. He knew that the revelations about Earth's technology had sparked envy and ambition among many races. They would stop at nothing to acquire it. The Krill, Xindi, and Orrery were now conspiring together, a dangerous alliance that could spell disaster for humanity. Shadows in the dark. In a dimly lit corner of Zeri Station, representatives from these races met in secret. The atmosphere was thick with tension as they plotted their next moves against Earth. "The humans have shown us their strength," growled an Orrery ambassador, his jagged teeth glinting in the low light. "But we cannot let them think they can dominate us." "We must act swiftly," replied a Xindi delegate, her voice smooth yet laced with malice. "If we allow them to solidify their position in the Federation, we will lose our chance to reclaim what is rightfully ours." The Krill representative clicked his mandibles in agreement. "We need to infiltrate their shipyards and steal their technology before they can fortify their defenses." A sinister smile spread across the Xindi delegate's face. "I propose we form an alliance, pool our resources to acquire human secrets by any means necessary." The room fell silent as they considered her words. Finally, the Orrery ambassador leaned forward, eyes gleaming with ambition. "Infiltration. Sabotage. I like it." With dark purpose solidifying their resolve, they began outlining their plans, how to infiltrate Earth's facilities and ensure that humanity could never rise again. A plan set in motion. Back aboard the EDF Athena, Noah remained vigilant for signs of impending danger. He had sensed that tensions were escalating rapidly. Just days after addressing the Galactic Council, intelligence reports indicated unusual activity near Titan Shipyard. "Admiral," a communications officer interrupted his thoughts. "We've detected an unauthorized entry into Titan Shipyard security systems." Noah's heart raced as he processed this information. "What do you mean unauthorized? Who is trying to breach our security?" "Preliminary scans suggest Krill signatures," she replied grimly. "Alert security teams. Lock down all access points," Noah commanded, adrenaline surging through him. Within moments, alarms blared throughout Titan Shipyard as security personnel scrambled into action. The stakes had never been higher. If the Krill managed to infiltrate their data core and steal schematics for Earth's advanced technology, it could tilt the balance of power irreparably. Infiltration attempt. Meanwhile, deep within Titan Shipyard's service tunnels, a squad of Krill operatives moved stealthily toward their target, the central data core housing invaluable schematics for Earth's Scylla-class ships. Their exoskeletons glinted ominously under dim lights as they navigated through maintenance shafts with practiced efficiency. Every step brought them closer to their goal, the prize that could secure their dominance over humanity. But as they neared the data core, alarms blared throughout the facility, a silent alarm triggered by their unauthorized access. "Move! Move!" shouted their squad leader as panic set in among them. Just then, heavily armed human marines materialized around them, stealth suits blending seamlessly into shadows until it was too late for escape. "Step away from the console," barked the lead marine as weapons trained on them glinted ominously under artificial lights. Desperation surged within the Krill squad leader. He knew their mission was compromised but refused to surrender without a fight. Plasma rifles emerged from beneath their disguises as they opened fire, superheated bolts scorching through air toward their assailants. But Earth's Marines responded instantly. Pulse rifles unleashed streams of hypersonic flechettes that tore through enemy ranks with lethal precision. Despite being outnumbered by Krill operatives who fought fiercely against overwhelming odds, the Marines moved fluidly across terrain using cover effectively while maintaining suppressive fire against their attackers. As chaos erupted within Titan Shipyard's data core, a last desperate gambit emerged from one Krill operative who leveled his plasma rifle toward precious schematics stored within. Their only hope lay in destruction rather than capture. Yet when he fired, a sustained burst aimed directly at data core. It splashed harmlessly against its protective housing. Molten energy dissipated like water on glass. The Marine sergeant allowed himself a tight smile beneath his helmet. The core remained untouched thanks to reactive crystalline shielding designed specifically for such contingencies. With their plan in shambles and forces rapidly dwindling, the Krill had no choice but to surrender. News spread rapidly throughout Earth's military channels about thwarted infiltration attempts. Consequences unfolding. Within hours after securing Titan Shipyard, Noah Gray stood once more before the Galactic Federation delegates, his expression grave as he addressed assembled representatives about recent events surrounding infiltration attempts. "People of the Federation," he began solemnly, his voice resonating with controlled anger. "It is my duty to inform you that trust has been betrayed in egregious ways." He proceeded methodically outlining details surrounding infiltration, attempt naming races responsible. Gasps echoed throughout chamber as evidence presented proved irrefutable. "We came here seeking cooperation," Noah continued passionately, his gaze sweeping across room filled with stunned faces. "And this is how we are repaid." Accusations flew amidst clamor rising within chamber walls, but words rang hollow against weighty revelations laid bare before them. In light of this grievous breach, Noah declared firmly, raising hand silencing uproar around him. Earth has no choice but launch full investigation into incident alongside others like it. As chaos erupted anew, the ramifications surrounding failed infiltration began unfolding rapidly. Alliances strained while long-standing partnerships fractured under pressure. Yet amid turmoil, one question lingered heavy within air. What would Earth do next? Preparing for war. Earth's patience had run out. The failed Krill infiltration had been the last straw, and Noah's response was swift and resolute. Just a week after thwarting the theft attempt, long-range sensors detected a massive joint fleet of Xindi, Krill, and Orrery ships massing at the edge of the Sol system, a blatant provocation that could not go unanswered. In the cavernous hangar bays of EDF Athena, the pride of Earth's Scylla-class dreadnoughts, Noah strode purposefully toward his waiting dropship. His boots rang against deck plates amidst organized chaos around him. Technicians swarmed over sleek black hulls, running final checks on advanced systems, while armored Marines hustled to their transports. Noah paused at his dropship's ramp. Tension hung thick in the air, a coiled spring ready to unleash fury upon those who dared challenge them. Every man and woman aboard Athena understood what was at stake. They were prepared for war. Minutes later, he stepped onto Athena's bridge, where tactical displays flickered alive with data streaming in real time from sensors monitoring enemy movements outside. At ease, Noah said calmly as he took his place at central command chair, gaze fixed firmly on tactical display, showing alien fleet looming ominously before them, a bristling wall of metal and menace readying for confrontation. "What's our status?" he asked crisply. "The Scylla fleet is in position and awaiting your orders," reported Tactical Officer crisply. "We're picking up weapon signatures from alien ships. They're charging up." Noah felt his jaw tighten almost imperceptibly. It would be war then. He had hoped that a show of force would deter these aggressors, but it seemed they were determined to test Earth's resolve. "Bring all ships to combat alert," he ordered firmly, his words ringing through hushed bridge, filled with anticipation and dread alike. The final showdown as preparations unfolded aboard Athena. Noah's mind raced through strategies while adrenaline coursed through him like wildfire, igniting every nerve ending. He knew this battle would determine not just Earth's fate, but also its standing among galactic powers, forever more minutes dragged into hours until finally, the moment arrived, all ships ready. Called out tactical officer announcing readiness across fleet. Noah took a deep breath, feeling weight settle upon shoulders like armor forged from steel. Engage. He commanded decisively. And with those words unleashed hell upon unsuspecting foes waiting just beyond view. Explosions rocked space around them, as orrery vessels disintegrated under relentless assault. No retreat. Noah shouted, rallying crew members around him. Push forward. Azed battle raged on. The tide shifted dramatically. Humanity fought not just for survival, but also for recognition. A chance to prove themselves worthy allies among stars, where only darkness threatened existence itself. With every victory won against overwhelming odds, hope surged anew, revitalizing weary souls fighting tirelessly against despair threatening to consume them whole. Finally, as silence fell over battlefield, once filled with chaos, Noah surveyed wreckage left behind by brutal confrontation. The alien fleet lay scattered across void like discarded toys abandoned after playtime ended. Cheers erupted throughout bridge crews celebrating triumph over those who sought annihilation. Yet even amidst victory lingered somber realization. This conflict marked mere beginning, a harbinger heralding greater challenges yet unseen lurking just beyond horizon, waiting patiently for moment when humanity might falter once again. Conclusion. A new dawn. Standing upon bridge overlooking vast expanse, stretching endlessly before him. Noah Gray felt mixture emotions swirling within heart. Pride mingled with trepidation as dawn broke over new era unfolding before humanity's eyes. They had fought valiantly against impossible odds and emerged victorious. But what lay ahead remained uncertain. With every victory won came new responsibilities, heavier than any burden borne before. As whispers echoed throughout chambers, filled with delegates eager to discuss ramifications, following battle fought fiercely above stars, they would soon realize one undeniable truth. Earth was no longer merely a backwater planet lost among galaxies forgotten by time. Now they stood shoulder to shoulder alongside allies forged through fire ready to face whatever darkness awaited beyond horizons yet unseen.